Hi, this is Scott, and today we're going to talk about the Rode Wireless Go system and lavaliers and what works and doesn't work with the Rode Wireless Go. So here we go, and right now I am using a Rode Wireless Go that is attached to my chest and it's kind of pulling. I actually have a power connector going in here because had run out of power. So I figured, what the hell? Let's go ahead and show that you can actually power the unit with a USB-C power and use it when your battery is going dead, because that has been a little bit of concern with some people that if you're using it beyond the time frame that you're going to run out of power. Well, just plug it in and you can still keep on cruising. So we learn something extra when we have to get by and make things work. But today we're going to be talking about lavalier microphones to work with the Wireless Go, because as light as the Wireless Go is, it can pull down on your clothing, especially if you got a t-shirt or something on. It's a little bigger, so you can't really like hide it, so it'd be nice to be able to use some lavalier type microphones with it. And I kind of looked around, so let me show you what I found, because not all microphones or lavalier microphones will work with the Wireless Go. And well, particular note, I had looked up one from a company called JW, and it looked pretty good, and people spoke well of it, that they used it on replacements in some of their Sennheiser systems. So I said, hey, that sounds like a good choice. But it didn't work. When I plugged it in, I would get a high-pitched whine. And I believe the reason for it, because I usually like to find out why things didn't work and not just, well, that doesn't work, let's try something else. And I believe the answer to the problem is about learning about condenser microphones. Condenser microphones, traditionally, you had to plug them into a power source, and that's what polarized the mic capsule and made it so it would work. So you would have to have a certain amount of power. And there are still a lot of microphones out there that are pure condenser microphones. And I believe the JW is listed as just a condenser microphone, which was the first one I tried. But then there is another variety which is called an electret condenser. And the difference is that it has a pre-polarized capsule, so it doesn't need the power to polarize that capsule. And because of it, I believe that's what makes it a microphone that will work with the Wireless Go. Now, it's important to note that Rode themselves is actually releasing a lavalier specifically for the Wireless Go. So I'm sure you can be positive that that will work. But until that's openly available, or if you're looking for other options, let me show you what I've found. In particular, I got two here, and as you can see, there is a significant difference in size. This was the first one I got. And let me go ahead and plug this guy in. Go ahead and oops, focus to my shirt, so we're all looking at similar placement. This is what you'd call a dirt cheap microphone. I actually bought it quite a while ago. I don't even know if they actually still sell them. At the time, Newer sold them, and I can't remember the exact price, but I think it was like 5 for $20 or 10 for 20. Just ridiculous, less than $5 a pop for the lavaliers. And I tested it out. It seemed to work okay, but I didn't at the time. I didn't have a wireless system, so I had to plug directly into camera, and I just didn't want to mess with them. I have a very good shotgun microphone, and I opted to use that instead. But obviously, there's a lot of advantages to lavaliers, especially if you're doing interviews or whatever, or just if you're being mobile yourself and you're doing a blog. And that's why it's fantastic that the Wireless Go came out, because it is a bargain in comparison. And I like this microphone here. And again, I mean, audio engineer probably sit there and go, I hear, this or that. But regular people aren't quite as critical as audio engineers. So I think most people will find a lot of these cheaper lavaliers adequate to the job. But I continued to, I decided that I wanted to find something, maybe a little bit more upscale, and that's where I tried that JW, but to no avail, because it did not work. It would get a low-pitched whine due to the fact that it obviously needed more power than the Wireless Go could do for it. So here we have this cheap one. It works fine. But the next one I found, I was kind of guided towards a company called Senal, and that's Senal, Senal, and they're not extremely expensive. They're not exactly cheap either. The particular one that I purchased normally goes for right around $100, I believe. They make different models, some that are a little bit more expensive than that. I don't think they make anything much cheaper. They're all sitting in the 100, 150 type range for the most part. But I chose the Senal CL6. So let me go ahead and unplug my dirt cheap mic. And plug in the Senal. Now, one thing you can tell immediately is the Senal is significantly smaller than this monstrosity. Even without the little wind muff on it, it's still huge. The Senal, without its wind muff, which is actually on it right now, is super tiny. Not much bigger than the wire holding it. So that was part of my motivation to get this one, because I figured if I'm going to go get a more expensive mic, that I would really look for something that is really hideable, that I can put under collars or hide in hairlines, whatever, if that kind of opportunity arose that I needed that kind of microphone. So I chose the Senal. Now, obviously, you're going to hear a difference. Some people like one over the other. I wouldn't get too critical as I play these for you. They are all going directly through the Wireless Go, directly into the camera. It's not going into a separate audio device. The Wireless Go is at its lowest dB setting. So it's the lowest gain, and the camera, which is a Fuji X-T3, is, I think it's around -9. So it's right in the midway point. So it's not being pushed hard as far as trying to amplify that signal. So it's keeping that noise floor pretty low. And that's one of the good things about microphones that have a good sensitivity, which this one has. And again, when you really get into audio, you understand that there are advantages to low or higher sensitivity, which go way beyond what we're doing here. Right now, we're just looking at simple microphones for people to use for blogs. And this is a sensitive microphone, and it works with the Wireless Go, and that's what's important. The other thing that's nice about the Senal is it's actually when you get it on sale, as I did, at slightly under $50, which it seems that B&H likes to run specials on them fairly regularly. So I would basically just keep a watch. You know, even if you had to pay the $99, it's not the end of the world, but hey, $50 is better. So what you do is you get a nice little package like this, little snap box that holds it. One could say it's almost overkill, and the microphone coiled up here fits on this side, and your accessories go over here. But they actually have little cutouts here, and you can actually pull these cutouts out, as I'm doing now. They're pre-cut, so you can just pull them out. I'm sure they put it in for some accessories that they would consider to be normal for you, but you can now use that space to put your accessories. And a wireless Go, you can actually take one part of the unit and put it in there, and if you put all your accessories into this compartment, you can put the other part of the wireless Go there, and now you can use this to hold your full kit. So that's kind of a nice extra. Or you can just put them all in smaller packages and pack light. But let's look at the extras that you get with it. One of the things they give you, which is pretty neat, is this little connector. It's a little metal plate, and you can put that metal plate underneath clothing. Good place where you can see it. And then you can just stick that on it. This is magnetized, so without piercing someone's clothes or using a clip, whatever, you can actually just use this little magnetic thing, which is that's pretty cute. I definitely like the idea of this. It also has a lanyard to go with it. I haven't played with that, but then I guess you could just do it kind of like a lanyard and hang the microphone around your neck, so that's kind of cool. Then they also have your standard mic clip, as I'm using here, and then they have another clip that's basically wire management. You can take your wire and clip it into there, and then use that to clip it and close to help control your wires. They also, beyond the single clip, they also have a double clip, which I seem to have misplaced, where you can connect two microphones. And that's kind of a safety feature that not a whole bunch of people use it, but you'll see the occasional news anchor or whatever will have two little microphones on his little lapel clip. And that's in case one of the microphones should die, he's got a backup right then and there. They don't have to worry about doing anything. So it's there if you need it. And then finally, they actually have, along with the two clip, and here are the separate little wind muffs. You get two in the package. And finally, you get a little clip that they call a vampire clip. And get that out. And it basically has two little pins, and you can like pin that on. So I guess that's cool, but I would hesitate to be poking through people's clothing if I didn't have to, which is why I like the magnetic clip. So there you go. You get all these nice little accessories with it. You get a nice little box to hold everything, which your wireless Go can also fit into the same box. And you get this nice little mic, which this is how it sounds. I found this mic tends to be deeper, so people might appreciate what that does for their voice. For the other ones, were a little more higher, maybe clearer. Again, you can just do a little equalization and come up with the what works best for you. Review for you. I hope it was informative. I hope it's helpful. I don't have any affiliate links, but I do have a link down there that if you'd like to give me a small contribution, buy me a coffee or a beer, depending upon the time of day. It's always appreciated, but please like and subscribe if you'd like to get more information like this. Thanks.